Good morning, dear second year students. As you know that we were doing the short story, The Axe. We had done 2 lessons of the same short story, and let us continue with the short story, The Axe by R.K. Narayan. So now we know that Valen is the sole occupant of the house. Everybody has left. He has the keys with him, and bats and rats are also living in that house. So when his hut started leaking, he thought that it would be only reasonable for him to shift in the veranda where the bats and rats were also living. So years passed without any change. It came to be known as the ghost house, and people avoided it. Valen found nothing to grumble about in this state of affairs. Now, again, Valen had been accustomed to this sort of life. It suited him excellently. Once a quarter, he sent his son to the old family in the town to fetch his wages. There was no reason why this should not have gone on indefinitely, because he was getting his wages and he was living a peaceful life. But one day a car sounded its horn angrily at the gate. Valen hobbled up with the keys. "Have you the keys? Open the gate," commanded someone in the car. "There's a small side gate, sir," said Valen meekly. "Open the big gate for the car." Now, someone is coming to see the house. Probably he is the buyer. Valen had to fetch a spade and clear the vegetation which had blocked the entrance. Now, you see the main gate was not opening because it has not been in a habit of opening and closing. The gate opened it on its rusty hinges, creaking and groaning. They threw open all the doors and windows, went through the house, keenly examining every portion, and remarked, "Did you notice the crack on the dome? The walls are too cracked. There is no other way. If we pull down the old ramshackle carefully, we may still be able to use some of the materials, though I am not at all certain that the wooden portions are not hollow inside." Now, you see, talks are going on of dismantling this house. Valen had seen this house, the foundation being laid for this house, and now people are talking that this house should be dismantled. And how changes. Once this house was a palace like house, then it became a ghost like house, haunted house, and now today people are talking that this should be dismantled. Heaven alone knows what madness is responsible for people building houses like this. Now you see, people are talking like this. But once the master of the house has built this house very carefully and filled with choice, they went round the garden and said, "We have to clear every bit of this jungle." Now, notice the word jungle. They are going to dismantle the house, and they are also going to clear the garden. All this will have to go. Some mighty person looked Valen up and down and said, "You are the gardener, I suppose. We have not much use for a garden now. All the trees except half a dozen on the very boundary of the property will have to go." Now, Valen was very, very sad. Why? Because the trees he had grown with his own hands are now will now be cut. We can't afford to waste space. This flower garden, it is old fashioned and crude. And apart from that, front portion of the site is too valuable to be wasted. Now, they will build some new building covering almost the whole area of the land. So, there will be no space for the garden. A week later, one of his sons of the old master came and told Valen, "You will have to go back to your village, old fellow. This house is sold to a company." Now, this is the final statement for Valen, that he will have to leave the house and go return to his village, because the master's son came and told this. They are not going to have a garden. They are cutting down even the fruit trees. They are offering compensation to the leaseholder. They are wiping out the garden. Actually, before they said that they will leave some fruit trees, but now they are saying that they will cut all the trees, even the fruit trees. They are wiping out the garden and pulling down even the building. They are going to build small houses by the score without leaving space even for a blade of grass. Now there will be no space even for a blade of grass, leave alone the garden. There was much bustle and activity, much coming and going. Now, who was coming and going? People, builders, constructors, contractors, they were all coming and going. And Valen retired to his old hut, where when he felt tired, he lay down and slept. At other times, he went round the garden and stood gazing on his plants. Now we can imagine what he might be thinking. He was thinking that those plants are like children to him, were like children to him. He has planted, he has talked to them, he has loved those plants, he has given affection and care to those plants. He was given a fortnight's notice to leave. Every moment of it seemed to him precious, and he would have stayed till the last second with his plants. But for the sound of an axe which stirred him of his afternoon nap 2 days after he was given notice. Now he was given a 15 days notice, but what happened? He heard the sound of an axe, and we can understand what it meant. Someone was cutting his well loved trees. The dull noise of a blade meeting a tough surface reached his ears. He got up and rushed out. Now he was so much attached with those trees that he was shocked and he was heartbroken to listen to the sound of the axe. He, sorry, he got up and rushed out. He saw four men hacking the massive trunk of the old Mergosa tree. He let out a scream. Stop that! He took his staff and rushed at those who were hacking. They easily avoided the blow he aimed. What is the matter? They said. Valen wept. Now Valen started crying. He could not see his trees being cut. This is my child. I planted it. I saw it grow. I loved it. Don't cut it down. But it is the company's orders. What can we do? We shall be dismissed if we don't obey, and someone else will do it. Those people said that if we don't cut the tree, someone else will do. Valen stood thinking for a while and said, will you at least do me this good turn? Give me a little time. I will bundle up my clothes and go away. Now you see, he has 15 days time to go, but he is leaving today only. Why? Because he can't see those trees coming down, those trees which he has planted, which he has loved, watered, and taken care. Now he can't see those trees being cut by his own eyes. After I'm gone, do what you like. They laid down their axes and waited. Now it is time for Valen to go. Now he asked for a few moments. Why? Because he wanted to pack his clothes and he wanted to go away. Presently, Valen came out of his hut with a bundle on his head. He looked at the tree cutters and said, you are very kind to an old man, because the sound of the axe was disturbing him, was breaking his heart. You are very kind to an old man, you are very kind to wait. He looked at the Mergosa and wiped his eyes. Now he started wiping his eyes. Brothers, don't start cutting till I'm really gone far, far away. Now he was not even prepared to listen to a very far, far sound. So the tree cutter squatted on the ground and watched the old man go. Nearly half an hour later, his voice came from a distance, half distantly. Don't cut yet, I'm still within hearing. Now he is walking very slowly, and after half an hour, when the tree cutter started cutting the trees, he gave them this gesture that they should not cut the trees because still he is listening. Please wait till I am gone further. Now, this is the end of the story, and the axe is symbolic. This is not only an axe made of iron and wood, but this is the axe of time. Symbolically, the axe of time cuts everything. If we analyze the story by the point of the title axe, we see that the axe of time cuts everything. It snatched away the youth and beauty of the master and the mistress. It snatched away the beauty of the house. It even snatched away the contented life of Valen. So time cuts everything. And Valen, the hero, was so much attached to this garden. But you see, the axe of time separated him from his village, from his family. The axe of time separated him from his master and mistress, from the house, from his hut, and now from Malgudi itself. Now he is returning to his village with nothing in his hand but only the sound of the axe. I hope you like the short story. Thank you.